Okay, so we are here with Brenda Hoots, who's the Supervisor of Elections for Hendry County, um, for our second Ask Me Anything with LDRC. So hello, Brenda. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Good, great. So we're just going to get right into it because I know everyone wants to know the answers to all these questions. So Debbie Clemmer has a question. How hard or easy is it to be dishonest with mail-in ballots?
Okay, so when you're saying with dishonest or hard with mail-in ballots, I'm not quite sure who she's saying. The dishonesty, myself and my office, as far as our integrity, we are not interested in tampering with any person's vote by mail ballot. You know, when you start thinking of an election, that what it would take to change the results. And everyone in this office, we are here for the voter. That's who we work for. And the risk with the vote by mail, that's where I guess I'll take it with that if you request a vote by mail ballot, you call in, or the different ways that you request it, we're verifying we know who we're talking to, because we are asking you questions that pertain to your voter record for you to answer, and we're confirming that we feel that this is who we are speaking with before we take your request, so that someone else cannot request your vote by mail ballot. The law does not allow that you could simply call me and ask for us to send your ballot to an address other than what's on your voter registration record. That's a way to prevent fraud, that someone else could request your ballot and have it sent to Ohio and vote it. And in order to get that, you have to put it in writing that you want that ballot to go to somewhere other than your address. And it has certain information that, once again, we're verifying that it's you, and we're checking that signature against what we have on file. So then when you're returning your ballot, on the back where you need to sign it on the certificate, there's a red box around where you have to sign across the seal. Once again, for tamper proof that you've signed it across that seal, so you could see that if someone had opened that envelope after you signed it, they could tell. So you have to, and that's the risk that a voter takes, is you have to make sure you don't forget to sign that envelope. But of course, if you do, and you don't, it gets back to us before election day, we're going to contact you with everything we've got: phone numbers, email addresses, and if it takes a letter, that's what the letter will go out to. But we're looking for emails and phone numbers to contact you quickly, because there are forms which called a cure affidavit that you can correct this and get this ballot to count. That's what we're looking. We work very hard to make every vote count. Or if a signature doesn't match, same situation. We're reaching out. We need you to correct this and do the affidavit to cure that vote by mail ballot. So, I mean, that's the risk I worry about, is the voter not remembering to sign, or that signature, and we're not looking that your signature has to be exactly the same every time. We're looking, did the same hand write this signature? And then one other, trying to think, putting it in the mail. It can't be postmarked election day. It has to be in this office election day. So just like so many things in elections in Florida, that we have choices. You can bring it in here and drop it off, so you know that it got here. Then you can also give it to somebody you trust to drop it off. You know, you don't give it to somebody that just comes by the door knocking, gathering vote by mail ballots in your community and say, I'm gonna go up to the elections office and drop them off. Myself, I'd be hesitant to do that. And of course, we work very closely with our mail post offices here, that if when it gets down to the wire with election day, they are holding ballots. If ballots are dropped off in the mail bin, they don't send them on to Fort Myers. And same thing with Clewiston. They don't send them to West Palm. They're holding them and we're picking them up.
Okay.
So that it doesn't take that extra days to go to Fort Myers, to West Palm and back.
Right. So it sounds like you have it pretty well taken care of. So
We try to think of every loophole we can do to cut the time down.
That's good.
Because, I mean, we admit there was, when we realized what it was taking for us to mail a ballot. Now, when we first do our first drop of vote by mail ballots, and that's what everything that we have in-house, we'll mail them approximately 30 days prior to the election. They'll go out. Now, we will mail all of them from Laval. But now when it gets closer to election, when we're 3 weeks out, those that need to go to Clewiston, we're sending them in-house mail to Clewiston office. Our Clewiston staff person takes them to the post office. And then they go out from there. So it's not taking that week.
Right. So it sounds like you're on it. That's awesome. Well, that was a good question. Thank you, Debbie.
Yeah, thank you, Debbie.
Yeah. And then Christine Eaton, who was our first Ask Me Anything
I know Christine, yeah. I saw that too.
Yeah, that was good. She wanted to know, how long have you lived in Laval?
Well, actually, I don't live in Laval. I live in Montreal.
Oh, okay.
I've lived there 40 some years.
Oh, wow. Okay. And she also wants to know, how do you feel about not voting in person this year?
Well, I mean, you still can vote in person this year. We have choices still.
Okay.
I mean, right now, the way it is, we're not sure where we're going to be with the COVID virus. But at this point, there will be polls open on election day. There will be early voting. Yes, we are concerned, especially here in Laval, because our facility is very small, how fast we will be able to process early voting and safely.
Okay, well,
early voting will start August 3rd. So, as I said, our office here is small and our room is small. And depending on what our status is, then will depend on how fast we can process people. But then there's also the option to vote by mail. And we did just this past week send out a card letting those that maybe you didn't know you could do that or how to go about it, that you can simply just call us or go online and take care of it. And it's still a choice. If you want to early vote, you do that. If you want to go to the polls, you do that. Or if you want to vote by mail.
Okay, well, that's good to know, that people can still go in. Okay, so Margie Stevens wants to know, what do you like most about your job?
It's always changing, always. The people, I mean, it seems like, I don't know, I get to do so many different things, and I like that.
Yeah, that does keep it entertaining. She also wants to know, where do you get that fragrance that you hang in your election office?
Where I don't know the name of the vendor, but if she'll contact me, I'm sure I can give her the name and address of that company. Yes, but the name of the scent, it is a frangipani, which that's that Hawaiian flower that they make the leis out of.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a random sampling of a bunch of scents one year, and that was picked is the most favorite by far. And so that's what we've always stuck with. But, you know, we love it that it has the election dates, the early voting dates. It hangs right there in your rear view mirror in front of you every day, so you don't forget to go vote.
That's good. I'm going to have to get one of those. She said it smells amazing. So
Margie loves them. She'd ask Margie for one.
I know. And then Linda Corbett wants to know, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Michigan.
In Michigan?
Yeah, in a small town called South Lyon. It's close by Ann Arbor.
Okay, that's cool. And now you said that you've lived for 40 years in Montura.
40 some years, yes.
Did you move from Michigan to here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, when we first moved out there was 25 families out there. It was really desolate then.
Oh yeah, because let's see. Oh, I missed one. So sorry, that was Lisa's question. Want to know how long? Lisa Sands.
Oh, okay.
No, my eye skipped. Sorry.
Right.
Linda Corbett also wants to know how many children you have, if you're willing to share that information. Some people don't want to
I have
share.
4 children, a daughter and 3 sons.
How old are they?
Oh my gosh, don't ask me that. I have to think too hard then. They're all grown adults.
There we go. That covers it.
Yeah, we even say 30 and up.
And then we did have a nice, I think it's Louise Napolis. I don't want to say, I know I'm saying
Louis Napolis.
Yes. He said he doesn't want to ask anything, just wants to express his gratitude for the outstanding service and the work that you and your staff do in Hendry County. So I thought that was really nice.
Yeah, that's really nice. Thank you, Louis. We appreciate that.
And then Marilyn Schmidt says, my daughter registered to vote when she got her driver's license. She will be 18 next month. When should she get her voter registration card?
Okay, so she'll be 18 next month, being June. Mm-hmm. She should receive it around the 1st of July.
Okay.
We usually run the job once a month to activate everyone that's pre-registered. So we'll what is that called, a segue? We'll do that right now to talk about that anyone that's at least 16 years of age. How old are your girls?
They're 16.
Are they pre-registered?
I think we did that when they,
when they got their driver's license?
When they got their driver's license. I
think yeah, they offer to pre-register you, or you can do it at any public assistance office, public library, online, or in our office. As long as you pre-register when you do turn 18, as long as you were 18 on election day, you'll be able to vote in that election.
Oh, that's exciting. That's good to know. I'll have to remind the girls and ask them.
Make sure that they pre-registered to vote. But
yes.
And somewhat, they should have received a welcome letter or something acknowledging that the application was complete. Oh, let's go back just real quick and say something too, as far as about vote by mails.
Okay.
Any vote by mail ballot that is received and it was rejected, say for the election, that it was because they didn't sign it or their signature didn't match and we weren't able to get them to get that paperwork in time, that they'll still receive a letter. Any ballot that is rejected in an election, we have to send a letter and tell you why it was rejected. Okay.
That's good to know. So they'll be.
Yeah. So, and another thing that you can do on our website at hendryelections.org is you can go to your voter status, look yourself up. It's in our quick links across the top. And then you can also get there through our menu on the left, that you can look yourself up and you can see the status of a vote by mail ballot request. If you have one on file, there's when you look at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, for instance, mine, we did a testing. So I had requested, and then my number 2 is because I canceled it. So if you have a request on file, you'll see it, and then you'll see it when it's, it'll update when we send your ballot out to you, and then you'll be able to see when we've received the ballot back.
That's pretty cool.
So, I mean, you can keep an eye on the status of it and know where you're at.
That's good information.
You don't have to wonder.
Okay, so Sherry Taylor wants to know, what is a universal primary?
Okay, universal primary is when all the candidates running for an office are all of the same office or all of the same party, and there's no other party running in the general, and there's no write-in candidate running. So when that instance happens, then it goes to what's called a universal primary. And in the primary election, everyone is allowed to vote on the race, and it is over in the race. There will be a designated winner in the primary.
So we pretty much went over all of the mail-in ballots, but she did have a question. Are vote by mail ballots forwardable? So like if I close my P.O. box and I want all of my P.O. Box mail forwarded to my home. Would that ballot be forwarded as well?
No, it'll be returned to us as undeliverable. Okay. If you didn't tell us that you got rid of the P.O. Box and you now want your mail to come to the house, and you can do an address change over the phone.
Okay.
You can simply pick it up the phone and call us. Only thing you can't do over the phone is change your party and change your name, because we need a wet signature then.
Gotcha. Okay. So you answered how you can track vote by mail on your website. That was covered. Should I wear a mask to vote? What are your guidelines? Are you still putting those together? And
well, I mean, we are preparing that we have purchased gloves and masks for election workers. We also have shields, plastic shields that we're going to wear. We have hand sanitizer that we will use at each station. For instance, one, we're going to ask the election worker not to touch your driver's license, to just, if the voter will hold it up where they can read it, they're going to look you up by your date of birth. It's the quickest way to get you pulled up. Mm-hmm. And then once they confirm it's you, of course, we have a signature pad. You'll need to sign that. There will be hand sanitizer at the EVID station, which is where they checked in. And then once they're checked in, they are given a ticket and sent to another place where they get their ballot. So there'll be hand sanitizer then. We haven't quite decided yet whether we're going to give you a pen and let you take it when you leave, or whether we're going to sanitize them during the day and recycle them.
Okay. It's going to be a lot to go over.
Well, we've got in our training, we've got a sanitation section where basically that's what we're telling each station, things that you have to do. You know, and the sanitizer's there for the voters, and then there's sanitizer for the election workers. We have wipes that we're still working on getting even more to wipe down the voting booths between voters.
Okay, well, we'll have to see how that all works out.
Yeah, and see, that's sort of it too, that we don't know where we're going to be at, so we have to be prepared.
Right, absolutely. That was a good question that Sherry asked. So Danica Hopper wants to know, what's the wildest thing you've ever done?
Oh my goodness. I have no idea at this point. Wildest thing probably run for public office. I never thought I would do anything like that. Me, shy, run for public office. It's like, and then I dared to do it. It was like, I just can't believe I did this.
That is pretty risky. And then Erica Villafonte wants to know, she said, I've read a lot about purging. How often are voter lists purged? And are people notified once they have been removed? And what is voter purging for those of us?
Purging, huh? It sounds disgusting, doesn't it?
It sounds like that movie, The Purge, is all
yeah. All you can think about is upchucking. So purging is done every odd year. That's what we do when we're not holding elections. So, 1 year we put them on, the next year we take them off. But no, it's not that simple. That actually we look at the voter file, and we have that voters that have undeliverable mail, or voters that have not voted in the last general election, they are sent a card. It's a first-class mail. The first one is not forwardable. It goes to the address that's on file. So if you haven't told us that you moved, and if that comes back as undeliverable, you're then flagged for another mailing. The second mailing is forwardable. So if the forwarding order is still good, you could probably receive it. And both cards are basically asking, are you still here? We're trying to keep our voter file current. You getting that flicker of power surge over there?
Yes.
Yes. I hear really bad storms are coming in headed northwest.
Yes.
But so then let's say that both cards came back as undeliverable. So that's then tracked, and you're identified as what we call inactive. It's an inactive status. You set inactive for 4 years for you to show up. So one, you didn't vote in 2 years. And then secondly, we mailed these cards and you sat in that pending file for 4 years. So it's been a total of 6 years. You haven't shown up before we remove you. It doesn't happen overnight.
Okay.
So, you know, I think a voter has full opportunity to show up. Now, if they show up in another county, that county is going to come here and take them because Florida has a statewide system.
Oh, okay.
You take your voter registration and everything with you from county to county.
County to county. Which brings up another question. If you live in Lee County, can you register to vote in Hendry County, or do you have to register to vote in the county that you live in?
You can do the action in Hendry County, the driver's license, or our office. If you come in here and say, I need to register to vote because it's statewide, we'll register you to vote. We'll enter the data, and electronically it'll go to the county that you belong in. And you have to actually vote in the county that you reside in. You know, you can do everything here. We have a lot of people that live in Muse and Lehigh. They'd rather come here and take care of their business. But when it comes down to voting, you still have to go to your home county.
Okay. Lisa Sands has a question, another one. She says, have you ever had as many people running for one position as in the sheriff position is now in your time in the election office?
Yes, but you see, I've been here since 1991, so I've seen a few. Oh. And I've seen it where there was many more. I think we had 8 or 9 candidates one year.
Oh, wow.
And we only have 4 this year.
Oh, so this is nothing.
Yeah.
So now I know that the city commission elections are coming up. Is that?
Yeah, we should mention that.
Yes.
There's been some change in the city of LaBelle election laws. That first the board approved to move their election date to our August primary. And that was all they did was move it to August. So then on the presidential preference primary, there's a referendum asking, should the city of LaBelle change their terms of office from 2 years to 4 years? And that was passed. So now we will be holding their election every even year, right, with our elections. There will be no standalone elections. And electing the city commissioners, and their terms will now be 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
And is anyone coming up for re-election this year?
Yes, there's 2 seats up. I'm trying to think.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
It's all right. I just, drew a blank. That's mine. But David Kelly is filed as far as for city commissioner. I'll be honest, I can't remember his exact title. I know the other, and he was recently appointed when Hilda Zimmerly, she resigned. And so Dave was appointed, and he has filed to run for that office. And it would be a normal term. So if elected this year, he would then have a 4-year term.
4-year term.
And then there is the clerk commissioner, which is held by Tommy Smith. And he has not filed yet, and neither has anyone else.
So what happens? What happens if no one wants that position? Like, what do you do?
The city commission gets to make an appointment.
Oh, okay. So they just.
Yeah, that's the way their charter reads, that they get to make an appointment.
Okay, that's interesting. And do you have any other facts that you would like to share with us that you think we should know?
Let me see on some of my notes if there's anything I didn't talk about. We talked about oh, I don't know if we touched it in this manner, but should I wear a mask to vote? We would ask if it's still recommended by the CDC that people would please wear a mask when they go to vote. to not put the election workers at risk, because I mean, they are willing to work. And I've been somewhat shocked when I've called them to ask them if they're going to work again. I mean, we worked the PPP really not knowing what this epidemic was at that point. Yes, we'd heard talk about it, but it hadn't really hit home for all of us, I don't believe. And now it's a different story. We've all been in quarantine for months. We've actually ourselves been here working. We work in our office in quarantine. It was sort of like, we're so used to seeing people, hearing people, and it was like nothing in here. It was like, okay, try to make the best of all this time that we're getting, because normally in an election year, we don't have that kind of time. But out of respect for the election workers, because, you know, they're almost all over 60.
I was going to say, aren't they retired? The majority?
Oh, yeah. There's very few that are under 60 in our election workers. And I mean, I'm so proud of them and thankful to them in the fact that they are willing to work. And I almost will go, really? You're really going to do it? And it's like, okay, you do know the risk, right? Because I think it's all at risk. And so, yes, we would ask that if we're still in the state that we are today with numbers still going up, I mean, it doesn't hurt. You put a bandana on your face. We've all got access to something. You tie a t-shirt around your face and go in, and don't risk them. I mean, we're trying to protect them with the equipment that we've purchased. We did the face shields just because we hear the doctor on the news telling that he thinks he caught it through his eyes. Yeah.
Wow.
It's one of these on NBC that he usually does their medical reports. That's what he was saying. And the struggle is, we've been practicing in here ourselves. Wearing a mask and a shield all day is not easy.
No, it's not easy.
It's like, I can't breathe.
I know, I have to pull it down. Yeah, it's definitely a challenge, but yeah, that's great advice, because we love all the volunteers and we don't want them getting sick.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I want to thank you so much for your time. This was lovely.
I thought of one more thing.
Oh, okay.
I thought of something else. They vote by mail ballots. Quite often that it comes up when they get it. What does it take for postage to mail it back? Postage to mail back on a vote by mail ballot, if it is ever not just a regular stamp, we'll put a note in there and let you know.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's just we would let you know if it costs more than a regular stamp.
Okay.
And, you said something about the sheriff's candidates. We were sort of looking at the layout of what the ballot could be, because we won't know until noon, June the 12th. That's when our final deadline, that's the cutoff, that's it. And we'll start making the ballots for the primary election, which is, by the way, August 18th. Don't forget to vote. Now I forgot where I was going with all that. It doesn't look like a really long ballot.
Okay.
Yeah, and when you say the sheriff candidates, we have 4. There'll be 2 on a Democratic ballot and 2 on a Republican ballot, because we have to go through the primary first, so that splits everything out.
Oh, okay.
But then we do have quite a few universal races coming up in August, that it doesn't matter what party you are, you're going to get to vote on that race.
Okay.
Just like a nonpartisan.
So if someone wants to run for office, they have to do it before June 12th, you said?
Yes, and as far as if they want to do it, that the petition deadline is passed. And that's the most common way everyone qualifies. But we have special district offices that they just pay a $25 qualifying fee. Oh, and that's mostly what we'll have coming in now after the petition deadline. But yes, you still can file and pay the qualifying fee. And if you're interested and want to know what that is, you just give us a call and come on by.
Okay, well, thank you so much. And I'll email you if we have any additional questions.
Okay, that'd be great.
Right,
well, I hope everybody found this very informative and I enjoyed it. Thank you.
It's been great. It's been really great. So thank you so much and have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Right. Bye-bye.